Hello, this is Paul Burkhart. I wanted to do this video back here so you could see not only that there's still green in the city, but that you could maybe hear the sounds of the city as I do the video. Earlier you could hear a bunch of the families and kids playing a couple of doors down. When I moved in this house a few years ago, that area was just overgrown. It became the blocks like a dumpster, and it was this eyesore for the entire neighborhood. A couple of years ago, they bought it, and they've spent the past couple of years getting zoning privileges and everything, and doing the work to turn it into this play area for families and children. And so each morning I literally wake up to the sounds of laughing children. It's wonderful. But that's also emblematic of some of the beauty that is available to Christians that come to cities and come with eyes to see brokenness turned into beauty. Some of the opportunities that are available to us. And when I was thinking about this question, like why should Christians engage in cities, I was thinking, it's because of all the work that we are given to do as Christians, of all the needs that pervade every area of the world, rural, urban, suburban, and everything in between. Those needs and that work that's there for the church to do, they find their wellspring and a lot of a greater concentration of it in cities. So in cities you see the greatest extreme and the highest concentration of brokenness, of injustice, of evil, of people's inhumanity to others. And in it, it's the greatest opportunity to speak to those things. And further, it's the wellspring of those things for the rest of the world. That more and more I'm realizing that the power structures that are in place, the media structures that are in place, just all the systems and the people and the influence that cities wield in entire regions, that means that everything, both good and bad, flows from them. They are the well springs from which flow life and death to the neighboring areas. And for too long, death has flowed from those things, even while a remnant has stayed in cities serving and loving and speaking out against injustice and lobbying for more resources and people and attention to be paid to them. In the midst of their faithfulness, they've created space in the cities for Christians to come to move into those spaces of brokenness and need and address them with the anticipation and the excitement and the confidence that work gets multiplied in a strange way beyond the borders of that city. And so, some people are wary of cities. There's a lot of danger. There's a lot of wickedness that happens in cities, but not just physical danger, but also the wickedness of societies and structures and how injustice pervades every area. And that is often the source of a lot of the physical dangers that keep people away from certain parts of cities. But because of the interconnectedness of cities and all of their systems and all of their people and their neighborhoods and resources, Christians moving into any part of it and upending that social structure and prioritizing the culture and prioritizing those that have been persecuted and treated unjustly and the people with less power in the eyes of the rest of the city. As those social structures and that culture is upended and reversed and the counterintuitive logic of the gospel is applied, you see change happen. And not only in those people or those systems, but it multiplies out into the rest of the city and then out into the rest of the area around it. And so, though there is great work to be done in every area of the world, and every Christian can be absolutely faithful in seeing the beauty of God and the brokenness of humanity, and seeing those things collide, and seeing death and sin conquered by the gospel of God, though that can happen anywhere, there is a locus to that story of redemption, and it seems to be cities. That is, in the biblical story, there's the image of the city at the end of all things, where the ultimate concentration of God then resides, and the image of God, humanity, resides as well with God, the union perfected and matured to its completion. And so that's what we seek. Christians come and we are able to see more tangibly in every possible way. See redemption happen. See heaven break into this world. See the world to come become the world that is, and to rejoice in that, and to take joy in that, and to glorify God for that. And with that in mind, I would encourage anyone to consider a season living in cities. If you're a Christian, take a period of your life to be in a city for a time, to seek the good of that city, with the hope and the expectation that even if your heart isn't there in that city, that the time that you are there has implications for wherever your heart might actually be. And so with that in mind, I invite all of us, and myself, to participate in this story of redemption, to see many different expressions of that trash heap at the end of my block turned into a playground of freedom and joy and love for all. So, thank you, and that's all I got.